champion. Nothing too hard for us to overcome. Work hard enough.
We are from Chancellor, the mighty Chancellor, the brave lion, that's who we are. The black and gold is burning in our soul. The lions will reign forever. We are from Chancellor, the mighty Chancellor, the brave lion, that's who we are. The black and gold is burning in our soul. The lions will reign forever.
I want to implore you guys to make decisions today that your future self will thank you for. As I said earlier, I am from a community that sometimes riddled with violence, and I had to make a decision as to whether I was going to play football or to take up a gun and start to shoot after people. I made a decision of playing football, and since then, I created some history. I was a part of the first team in Jamaica College to win Waka Cup in the first time in 2009. 2010, the first team to win the Triple Crown, and now I'm here at the university and is a part of the first team the first university team to make it to the National Premier League. So I want to implore you again to make decisions today that your future self will thank you for. Be innovative, be creative, and hopefully when you die, then you'll create a legacy for yourself and others to follow.
You can seek any information. As if you want to buy a house, you start Googling how to buy a house in Jamaica. You're so intelligent already. Seek the knowledge that you need by going out there and asking for the information.
You might not have the 11,000 to invest, but what you have to invest, you have to be willing to invest it, and you have to take the risk. And we spoke a lot about single parent household, talk a lot about fathers being absent. The biggest way to fix all of that is ensure, say, we get jobs, we have money. Don't go start no family if you don't have no money. And that is what it takes. A man now will just get up and leave in family justice because he can't afford it. And we talk about power, and we don't really recognize that the power in itself comes from the money, because if you can't afford something, then you're not anybody. And a lot of courses that they're going to do at university going to tell you this, that ladies look for persons who have power, men who have substance, who are achieving. If you not do that, then nobody will go start a family. You're going to just add to the problem with Jamaica already are faced with.
As a society, it is clear that we made mention of mentality and certain things that we are used to as a people. But if you take, for instance, John F. Kennedy, United States past president, a common quote that he used as a guide really was, do not look for what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. I think as a people, we look too much for what we can get from people and for what people can do for us. And as such, you find that we sit down and we stand and we look and we stare and we wait and nothing happens. Listen, man, it is said that there's nothing really wrong with our country that cannot be fixed with what is right with our country, which is, of course, the youths who are sitting right here right now. One of the problems is that we fail to rise up, we fail to take our place. We fail to let this government, this country know that, listen now, we deserve to be here. We deserve to not merely be a part of implementation process, but of course also the policy making process. Because I believe that far too long now, they have been giving us nothing but issues. And that's just the fact. If a Minister of Education can get up and call children Lego beasts, listen, man, we know where we're coming from. And as youths, we have to be radical because we know what we're saying. I know where I'm coming from. I mean, it is clear that it was the Martin Luther King who said that freedom will never be given by those who oppress us, but it will only be demanded by we who is oppressed. Let us understand, youths, that we deserve a place in this society. And unless we understand that, we will never move forward. They're talking about 2030 vision statement. We are the youths, and we should stand up and stand up now.
Talk up, youths! Woo! No, sir.
in my community especially, and I know that it is in many other communities, is that we have a lot of wasted land that they say is government owned. And I believe that the government and or the public sector can erect factories and so forth so that employment can be created.
The parents are the main persons responsible for raising their children. And that is true, and I'm in total agreement with that. But I guess in the end, you cannot single out the impact or role the society might have on the youths. And when I speak of society, I'm not talking about the random man on the street. I'm talking about things like the schools and the churches, because growing up as a youth, you have to admit that you come in contact with these places very often. So they will have an impact on you. So I think when you speak of the society, I think the schools have its job and the churches. And yeah, I think parents should instill from the beginning what the children should grow to become or hope to become. But the society has its role, and it should try to fulfill them.
Many persons will say that traditional schools are vastly different from non-traditional schools. I've had the opportunity of attending both. The rules and regulations are almost identical. The difference is the enforcement of it. There's a different atmosphere when you enter a traditional school than a non-traditional one. The atmosphere is created by the teachers and the staff, the entire administration. You don't see that sort of unity with the administration in a non-traditional school, and it's sad to say. Maybe because the name that is associated with it, they don't see that we still have to put out our effort and make sure that these young children come out to be the best that they can be. I see a more lackadaisical behavior where that is concerned with the teachers. Many would say that, the persons that go to traditional schools are brilliant and they know how to attain. They too come from vastly different backgrounds. The truth is that when you enter a new environment, the first thing you will do is observe, then you adjust and adapt. It's the same thing that will apply. If you apply that to the non-traditional schools, all will be well. So you can better challenge the students. You can better channel their talents and their potential.
Them a champion. Nothing too hard for us to overcome. Work hard.